So, makes you want, if you could switch ethnic backgrounds,
yeah,
which would you pick? If you had to be 100% another ethnic background,
I would be more white.
More white.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Earl? If you had to pick a different ethnic background, other than the one that you were born to, right?
Yes.
What would you pick?
I would want to be Spanish.
100% Spanish?
Yeah.
Puerto Rican or from Spain?
Probably from Spain, a little bit more exotic.
You are probably not trying to move your way up that ranking too fast. What about you, Eastside?
I would probably be a Chinaman because the food...
First of all, idiot, the term isn't Chinaman. Unless they look around, this is the 1870s.
Okay.
We don't say Chinaman anymore.
All right, a Chinese man, because of the food and their intelligence. I think it's pretty much proven on SATs and stuff. The Chinese get all the top scores.
Well, they do work at it. Let me check with Little Bronx Johnny. Bronx Johnny from Ecuador. If you had to take another ethnic type and be 100%, what would it be, Johnny?
Black.
See, they definitely don't want to move up. He and Earl are like, we are comfortable down here at the 4 and 5 range. Let me hang in 4th and 5th. You guys don't even want a bronze medal.
Johnny doesn't even have to go too far to be black.
Why is that China?
No.
Why is that Chinaman?
Just saying, he already has a very, ghetto type, street cred type thing. Hip hop and...
What about you? You have the same thing. You know what? I got to tell this story. All right, Earl, remember yesterday Dave did not have the work for me that you had some work you wanted me to take a look at.
Yes.
Some movies to see, some music to listen to. And Dave took it home from the party the other night. Left it at his house. For whatever reason, he doesn't bring it back to work yesterday. So I leave here. I go out to meet my chick. Dave calls me when I'm at a restaurant. Let me run this stuff into you. So we're at this little French cafe, right, that maybe had, I'm going to say 7, 8, maybe 10 tables, tops, right? Just a very tiny place. Dave's like, Mr. B, I'm so sorry about this. He's telling me on the phone. Let me just bring it down to you. I can be there so fast. So he runs from here to Lexington Avenue. I imagine at a full trot. He burst into the place, totally sweating, flops down at our table, and I will only say this, it was an anniversary lunch between myself and my chick. He's sweating, he's hot, the woman comes by with the menu, and he orders.
You're kidding!
Now, both of us are 3/4 through our meal, where he's doing the, hey, that looks fantastic. Oh, no, just water for me. He's saying to the lady, he goes, you know what, I will have something. He orders food. He's screaming the entire time at the top of his lungs in this restaurant, telling Earl stories, and he starts to try to tell gossip about Winnie Cooper to my chick and me. We are not saying a word to him.
Yeah, he's just holding his own scene at this point.
Yeah, people around us who now he accuses of eavesdropping because the tables are very close together, and he's yelling and sweating all over everyone. His food shows up. He inhales it so fast that he actually finishes his meal before me, even though I had been there for a good 35 minutes before.
I can't tell you how rude and gross this is on so many different levels.
He orders a dessert.
You're fucking kidding me.
No, a big giant dessert. All this, the check shows up, check's placed in front of me. He gives a, hey, thanks so much. I had no idea I was going to have lunch with you guys.
That was a great meal. I got to tell you
Then
something.
he has the balls to say this to me. I can't believe I found this place. I can't wait to bring Claire back here. I go like this. You didn't find this place. You burst in the middle of my lunch, my anniversary lunch.
I should be shocked, but, I want to be shocked, but I'm not. You're just so inappropriate, Dave.
I ran 14, 15 blocks in like about 12 minutes. I was starving, and I just needed some food.
But here's why you had to run and do things on your own time.
Right.
Because you took fucking work home that didn't belong to you.
Yeah.
Then I found out you sent one of our interns over that darkened basement apartment of yours where the intern was harassed by your landlord.
Yeah, she thought it was going to be. She thought he was breaking in and started screaming at him and saying, you're not allowed to come here. You're not. She's just this evil old bitch. And he had my keys. So I was like, if he has my keys,
Earl, I have to also tell you this. There was a little table next to us, and it was a black couple that would look like the grandparents on the Cosby Show. Okay? They were so Cosby'd up. He's wearing gold, like, a retired doctor. She was absolutely stunning. These people in their late 60s. At one point, and we had conversation with them before Dave got there. A lovely, lovely afternoon before Dave shows up. When he shows up, he is screaming some story about Bronx Johnny and Jamaicans and Haitians. So he's like, he's saying there's Haitians with an Uzi. These people that we were having a nice conversation with later looked at us as if we were crazy white supremacists.
I didn't know how close the table was.
Your job is to make things more convenient, easier for the hosts of the show. And you've done just the opposite. It's like you took your job description and just said, how can I do an exact 180 from what this is?
They were clearly eavesdropping, though. So they shouldn't have been offended. That was a private Jamaican joke for Ron.
Wait.
That's it. That's all it was.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
The tables are 8 inches apart.
Right.
Earlier we discussed things because we got our menus at the same time.
I didn't know that.
Yes, because you were what? Talking instead of listening.
Yeah.
2, drop off the stuff that you fucked up and leave. You don't sit at a table, start guzzling ice water, and then go like this. Maybe I will have a little something.
I thought I was saving some money by not ordering a Coke.
You did save some money by fucking eating for free.
And didn't Ron just say you were screaming at the time? you were just visibly loud, which is probably why everybody got into the conversation?
The entire restaurant is as big as the studio. That is the entire restaurant. It's just a very small little place.
I'm an American. I mean, we talk loudly at dinner time. I think that's just...
Then go have your own meal and talk as loud as you want.
Well, the food wasn't as nice if I had made it for myself as it was in that French bistro.
You're because you're used to Papaya King, where you can go there and yell as loud as you want to while you're getting 2 dogs for $1.50.
I'll give you an example. Remember, this was a couple of months ago. You guys went out to dinner with Wiki, and I had to drop something off. I went there, I dropped it off. I had every intention of leaving until he's like, hey, you want to sit down? But I never invited myself to sit down.
Earl, you were fantastic, and you were a terrific company.
And all you ordered was a crock of mashed potatoes.
I feel like that was taking initiative by inviting myself.
Earl, maybe you noticed that when we were out with Wiki, it wasn't a romantic anniversary luncheon.
Like I had no idea about the anniversary thing.
Of course not. You don't think that maybe someone would just like to have a lunch.
I mean, it wasn't special though. Anniversaries come, once a year, and this will be the anniversary you had.
Oh yeah, we are not going to forget this.
Your buddy Dave.
Yeah, this will be one that we will remember.
What? But you didn't notice, like, when you walked in, there was nothing but couples. It's really small. It's really quiet. The place is candlelit.
It's really true.
That would tip me off. I was like, you know what? Maybe they just want to have a nice, quiet, romantic lunch.
You know what? It meant so much to us that now I have to redo this fucking thing. On the way home, I had to say, you know what? We're going to do this again, and we're going to do it right this time.
You know what? I'm beginning to think he planned this thing so he could run and have lunch with you.
It might have been in the back of my head a little bit. I kind of wanted to.
And for some reason, the thing that annoyed me the most is when he screamed out, I can't believe I found this place. I can't wait to bring Claire here.
He rewrites history as it's happening.
Hey, guess what, Mr. B? Because I told Claire about it afterwards. We went there 2 hours later. Me and Westside went back to the restaurant 2 hours later. Same waitress. She's like, back again?
Now you're like tainting the place.
I fucking can't go there.
Yeah.
Now I can't go there again.
You're associated with the crazy redhead, with the Lucille Ball.
And when I went back, I realized how nicely everyone was dressed, and I'm wearing my Yankees awful T-shirt, and she had this bad T-shirt, and at that point I did recognize, all right, maybe this French bistro isn't the place for me. I'd like to have a burger or something and yell. I guess it was too much of an intimate setting for me, but it was a great. I do thank you for it. I love that creme brulee.
Well, thanks for inviting me back for dinner. It's fantastic.
You can come out with us, you, Miss B. Come on my dime next time.
That's what it is, though, a dime. I'll fucking be standing in line at Papaya King. Going, is there a table I can stand and eat at, or do I have to go out and eat over the trash can again?
No, you're going to have a meal on me. You might have to share it, but you're going to have the meal.
Boy, you've been saying this forever, and these meals never appear.
Speaking of which, let me just say once again thank you to my friend Dr. Steve. Dr. Steve was kind enough to send me these fine cigars. And when I think of how many people listen to this show, and it never once dawns on them to say, you know what, maybe I'll send Ron some cigars. I enjoyed today's show so much, why don't I surprise him with some cigars? It never happens except for Dr. Steve, the #1 listener of the Ron and Fez show. And I'll even throw O&A in with that. He's the #1 listener of 202.
He's phenomenal. He's a great man.
Did I ask for you to somehow hop in and reaffirm what I was saying?
No. You didn't ask for that.
Did I have his... did you see like an article like that Ron's hiring a yes man to hang around with him? I don't need it. Peter, you're on Ron and Fez.
Why do you put up with this fucking guy? You should have thrown him out in his ear with that fucking thing. What the fuck?
Well, I'm not going... he is a co-worker. I don't want to treat people like animals.
Mr. B's got class.
The other thing about Dave is he still is without electricity a full week into this. We had to hear those stories. I will say this. He sat at my table and held court. Nobody else had anything to say other than to listen to his stories of how he hasn't showered in a week, how his girlfriend hasn't showered in a week, and then attempting to tell some despicable story about Winnie Cooper and who Dave believes that she's dating, and brought up several interns. Now, my chick doesn't need to hear all that, Fez.
I'm sorry. And if you kick him out, or just like you're the bad guy all of a sudden, you know what I mean? You're wrong. It's like, hey, why you throw the unshaven redhead out?
Well, you hope that somebody would catch on to any sort of manners or whatsoever. That they would think to leave the stuff and just go, and not to actually take a seat. And then if they take a seat, not to order. And then if they order, not to throw in dessert and wolf it down and scream in a restaurant.
Well, my legs needed a rest. And the run did take a lot out of me, so I had to rest somewhere. I mean, where am I going to say? It's New York. There's no benches anywhere on Fifth Avenue.
Yeah, there's no. First of all, we're in Lexington, and there's plenty of benches.
In Central Park.
Yes, you're not that far. You've got plenty of place. There's no benches on Fifth Avenue, he says. The fucking avenue is lined with benches.
Well,
it's the avenue with the benches. It's his little nickname. Hey, Aaron, you're on Fez.
Hey, Ron and Fez, buddies.
Hey, buddy.
Listen, Ronnie, I'm making a cigar order, and I'd love to send you some, but you never tell us what kind of cigars you smoke.
That's the interesting thing. I love to be surprised. I'm not going to...
Maduro, Connecticut, doesn't matter what kind of wrap?
No, I think that would be very, very nice. I think it would be a lovely surprise. I mean, you stay out of the White Owl. You know what I mean? I'm not looking for a Philly blunt. But, Dr. Steve, he always shakes it up, and that's why he is the #1 listener of 202. And I would love to get him a plaque that says that, Earl. And then get every other listener a plaque that says, you're not Dr. Steve, and you're not the #1 listener.
That's a lot of plaques.
Yeah, we're going to need hundreds of thousands of plaques.
Can't we just get one of those big plaques that has Dr. Steve on the top of it, and then everyone who's not the listener of 202 in those little things that you engrave underneath?
Everyone who's not a listener?
Not the top listener. That came out really, really awkward and confused. Just a mess.
James, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hey.
Yeah.
Buddies, how's it going?
Good.
I just thought, Dave's kind of fucking up. Maybe Crazy Jen would be better at his job.
Crazy Jen agrees. But I got to admit, between Dave showing up and Crazy Jen, I think I'm happier with Dave. I got to tell you the truth.
Well, the difference is good. Crazy Jen, I think, would be showing up at your house. That is a line I will not cross. That's a promise.
Did you not ask me my address yesterday as I was leaving? And I said, I'm not fucking letting you know where I live. I'm not going to do it.
I thought you forgot about that.
You know what he did yesterday with that? He looked at you and he goes, "What's your address again?" Like you had given it to him before, and he was like trying to get it out of you.
Yeah, Dave, let me ask you this. And it's one thing to even come all the way down there. It's another thing to sit at our table. Why the inappropriate talk? Why screaming about Haitians with Uzis? Why telling gossip about Winnie and how many people you think she dates?
I'm just conversing. I'm just trying to give, we were rapping, as they would say.
Did anybody rap back to you?
No, there was a lot of silence and awkward stares.
Yeah.
Twiddling of thumbs, but not a lot of rapping back.
Again with the rapping. If it's 1974, we're going to rap.
Okay.
These days we'll just talk.